love your story about the fire angels.
Yeah, I was at a mutual friend of ours, Pastor Young's church, and there was this, we were during worship and I saw fire angels, show up. And there was, when I say fire angels, it's just angels carrying fire. Just simple as that.
And what's the biblical verse? Hebrews 1.
I can't think of it right now.
It's ministering spirits, flames of fire. They're sent to heirs of salvation. So this is biblical. This is the word. So if you're watching like fire angels, it's actually in Hebrews 1. So
these angels are there, and they, it's during worship, and I see angels everywhere, and I'm waiting on the Lord. It's really important. You may see something, you may get a prophetic word, but the Lord's timing is where the anointing is.
Yeah.
So you got to wait on him in when to release that thing. So I'm waiting on the Lord for his permission. And he said, okay. And I waited. And he said, now, Anna. So then I jumped in it, and I'm laying hands on people. The fire of God's hitting people. They're just feeling the fire touch them. And then I look over to the left, and I saw the fire touching down in this one area. It just looked like this beam of fire pouring into the room. And it's that is just a touchdown area. Sometimes it can feel the presence, like you're running into the wall of presence, where you feel the presence hit you in a specific location. And that's what this was. It was just a touchdown, a heavenly touchdown location. So the fire's falling into one location. And I see this lady, and she's there with her husband, and he's kind of helping her. And I don't know what's going on in her, but I could tell she's weak, because he's helping her. And I go up to her and said, do you need healing? And she said, yes. And she looked at me weird, like, don't you know? And I'm like, do you need healing? And she said, yes. And so I said, can I have you take 3 steps back? And I went right there.
Where the fire was.
Right in the fire. And I put her in the fire. And she's like, whoa. And she starts feeling the presence all over her. She's feeling it. And she's shaking, she's getting touched, really touched by God. It's just hitting her body. And then the Lord started highlighting different parts of her body to me. I still have no idea what she needs prayer for, but I just pray. And I'm like, I pray for this. I pray for this. I pray for her gut to be healed, numbness to go. I just get words of knowledge. God will give you words of knowledge where you just know that this is what it is, right?
Right.
I'm just hearing the Lord and praying ways, saying to pray. Going in, and I put my hands on her brain. And I pray for a creative miracle over her brain. And then the fire hits her. She's getting touched. And then she steps out of it. And she's like, I'm healed. And I'm like, great. From what? I have no idea. And this woman had this wild story of she had brain surgery like 20 some years ago. And it was a botched surgery. And when she came out of that, every day she woke up thinking it was still year 2006. It was like, April, Wednesday, the day she was going into surgery. So every day she would wake up thinking, I'm going into brain surgery today for like 20 years.
Like reliving the same day over and over.
Yes. And then she had gotten partial numbness. She wasn't paralyzed, but partial numbness. So she couldn't get in and out of cars. She couldn't go upstairs. She told me one time she was cutting a carrot, didn't realize she just cut her finger because she had no feeling. She looked down and it's bleeding, So it was like, she really couldn't be on her own. And her husband, was really helping her just get through life. But the functionality of her life, this was debilitating, this thing.
Yes, very much.
So she gets healed. And she's like, I know what today is. And she told us the date. And she said, I can tell you. And she said, and God touched me. And she starts telling her testimony. I mean, her mind's alert, like alert mind. Her memory's completely restored, everything. Her feelings back in her body. She has no problems. So then she starts praying. We said, well, pray for other people. So she started praying, laying hands on other people that had any brain trauma, which was amazing to see somebody, not only her praying for people, but see her go from where she felt completely debilitated and unfunctional to now stepping out, and God was using her.
Yes.
And releasing miracles through her. And she was, fiery, Yeah. And, that was such a fun time. That was just a crazy, wild testimony.